I'm Amy Castro, and I'm a communication expert, and performance communication is my passion. If you're not familiar with performance communication, it's basically a simple thing. It's finding the balance between getting along and getting things done in your everyday interactions. I thought, I should practice what I preach a little bit more. So I went home, and I was in my kitchen. I opened the dishwasher, and it was empty. And the only person that could have done it was not the dog, it was my daughter. She was probably like 10 years old at the time. And so I went to the stairs, she was up in her room, and I said, "Hey, Kelsey." "What?" I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate the fact that you emptied the dishwasher without me asking. It was so nice to come home and have the dishwasher empty and not have to do it, because it's one of my least favorite jobs. Thank you so much. Are you being sarcastic? Worst thing would happen if that was a literal seesaw. What would be the worst thing that would happen if you were on a seesaw? So you're going back and forth. You ever have that happen when you were a kid? You're on the seesaw, and the person on the other side does what?
They jump off.
And then boom, you're down on the ground, right? So the worst thing that can happen when I'm doing a presentation on communication, the first thing that I really like to do is to customize. I want to know who the audience is, what are they hoping to get, because it's a limited amount of time and communication is a huge subject. I also want to make sure that people have fun, because I don't like being bored to death. As a matter of fact, my grades in college very much reflected the classes that I enjoyed and found entertaining or interesting, and the ones that were not so thrilling. And so I try to make it engaging. I try to have a little bit of humor, a little bit of fun along the way, and that really helps the messages stick with people. But she was a very passive person. And so she would come down, the mother-in-law, she would come down the stairs and she would sit down at the kitchen table, and I'd be in the living room working, and it'd start with this. Okay. And now when I was a newlywed, and I was a nice person back then, I would say, she's communicating.
Yeah.
What can I do for you? Do you need something? Are you hungry? Can I get you some coffee?
Yeah.
Flash forward 25 years, I hear the right? And then it would escalate. "Are you hungry?" she'd say. "Nope." Really nice. How many of you have ever received criticism that was truly constructive? Raise your hand. Okay, but that's kind of half-hearted. Some of y'all are like, "I guess, I'm not really sure." And so what I think of when I think of performance improvement feedback, doesn't that sound better? I mean, even given the choice between the two, constructive criticism or performance improvement feedback, which one would you want to receive? Now, thinking about it from the giver's standpoint, I think about communication as being like a toolbox. Imagine a nice toolbox with lots of tools in it. If I've got a lot of tools in my communication toolbox, I probably, if I look carefully, will find just the right thing for the job. If I don't have a lot of tools in that toolbox, for example, if I'm an aggressive person and the only thing that's in that toolbox is a hammer's going to hammer down a nail, but it's not going to work well fixing a window or something. So it's important that you have different tools for different things. And some people and you know them, the bullies and the doormats. They go through life with a couple of very limited tools, and they might work sometimes in some situations, but in a lot of situations, those tools don't serve them well. And last but not least, I really like to make sure that I give them tips that they can walk out and use right away. I don't like to stress a lot of theory. I just want to give you some tips, tools, and techniques to get along and get things done. And that's really what my overriding umbrella is in my business and in my workshops, is what I call performance communication. It's finding that balance between getting along and getting things done.